tracking your vehicle, it's already been stolen. So they're not theft prevention, they're actually vehicle recovery systems. But if you do these things, if you take a layered approach, using common sense, using warning devices, alarms. Well, those alarms, I hear them ringing all the time. You may, but a bad guy breaking in, he doesn't know when somebody's going to come out and confront him or her. So it's a question of they do work, even though you think a lot of people don't pay attention to it. Or as I say, an immobilizing device where you have a secondary thing, a kill switch or a cutoff or whatever, and then the final thing is to consider the use of a GPS or something. Those are things you can do. There's a couple other things you can do too. I mentioned RAT a few times. RAT is the San Diego County Regional Auto Theft Task Force. The group I'm with partnered with RAT. Why? Because they're the biggest, baddest guy on a law enforcement entity in the county. RAT is made up of all of the law enforcement agencies in the county, except one. My old agency, San Diego PD, is not a member, but all the other agencies are. You'll hear RAT doing their operations like Operation Hotel California, Operation Knee Drag, Operation Oil Rag. They come up with all these colorful names for operations and whatever it is, where they're actually targeting professional car thieves. Because for the most part, I think you think we're talking about the joyriding kid. No, I'm talking about rings of people who go out and steal cars for a living. Heaven help you if you own a sport motorcycle in San Diego County. Because in San Diego County, only about 90%, and I'm being kind, 90% of those bikes once stolen are ever recovered. And that's going to be your young sailor, generally a guy who's got his money and he put his $5,000, $6,000, $8,000, $10,000 on his bike. Parks it on the street, and he doesn't have to go out to sea for 3 months and come back and find it gone. It's there on the street. These guys can steal these bikes in under 20 seconds. Working with RAT, we did a news conference back in December. RAT had gotten some legislation passed, and the legislation made it illegal to possess a pigtail. Now you're thinking right now, wait a minute, I had a pigtail, my wife has a pigtail. Now, pigtail is a homemade device modified to allow you to bypass the ignition system on a motorcycle. And it is as quick as walking up to a motorcycle with one of those and pulling something out, shoving this thing in, clicking it, and having the bike going in under, I said 30, it's more like 20 seconds. So much so that the average person doesn't even notice it. These guys stealing the bikes, they'll steal a bike, take it down to Mexico, unfortunately, because of the close proximity to the border, and resell the bike. And again, it's a total write-off on the insurance. And we lose, even though you're not driving that bike, even though you're not one of the people who lost with the popular cars that are stolen, we're all paying for it. Again, industry estimates say an additional $200 to $300 in your insurance premiums are going to cover cars as a result of theft. So if your premium is $700, $800 a year for your cars, it could be a lot lower if they weren't fighting this battle. And this is good news. Auto theft is down, even nationwide. We broke the million mark. We are, I think it was like 950,000 cars stolen across the country last year, which is actually a good number. And if you want even more shocking numbers, just for California alone, we lead the league. California is 2.5 times, actually 2 times bigger than our nearest competitor, if you can call them a competitor, the state of Texas. Last year, in 2010, California had 158,000 cars stolen. Texas only had 69,000. But as I say, it cost all of us. Now I can stop talking. Oh, rat tails. One of the things that I have nothing to do but sit down and come up with brilliant ideas. One of the things that we came up with was the idea of putting together a newsletter regarding auto theft prevention. And not just theft prevention, but also vehicle break-ins and other things. There is a publication that the organization I'm with now is doing for RAT. It's called Rat Tales, Tales. I thought that was cute and whatever. Anyways, Rat Tales. It is available. You can get it. If you go to, number one or two things. Number one, I've got a sign-up sheet. If you want, and you put your email address down here, trust me, we will not spam you. We will not do any of that crazy stuff. I can email it directly to you. It's bi-monthly. Every other month, the publication comes out. It's called Rat Tales. Or you can go online to go to sdrat.com. And right now the website doesn't look very good, simply because it doesn't. I'm actually working with RAT now to redesign their website. And right now, though, you can go on and check those publications out. There's all kinds of things. For example, you're leasing your car. You want to get out from under the payments. Why not just sublease your car to someone else? Well, there's a problem. It's illegal. Second problem is your lease company will not allow you to sublease your car. So besides the fact that it is illegal to do it in the state of California, most companies won't, or most most lenders won't allow you. But you're going to get solicitation by some company saying, oh yeah, we can do it for you. We'll find a qualified person. So you think you're getting out from under the payments. You lease your car to them. They say they're going to cover all the payments and the insurance and everything. And before you know it, the person has skipped town with your car. You're still on the hook for it. So those are some of the articles that are covered in Rat Tails. And the two issues, the back issues are on there, but you're more than welcome. Also, for those of you elected officials and representing elected people and whatever, there's nothing, if you want to send that out to community groups, if this group here would like to sign up for it, I can either have the Rat send one to you or all of you can. I would just ask that you pass it on. In talking with the officer, she's going to be able to take it, get it, and then pass it on to her 400 block captains and her ultimately about 5,000, 6,000 people involved in neighborhood watch in some of the communities that she serves. Now, no more talking. Questions? Anything for me? Come on. Yes, sir.
Matt, just an interesting aside is the fact that the research revealed that there were a number of cars not stolen in the U.S. taken to Mexico, but stolen in Mexico brought into the U.S. because they're so easy to register.
Yes.
That we found doing the research.
100% correct. What Dave didn't tell you was, and we didn't go into it, but though I've worked for the San Diego Police Department for 28 years, Dave was definitely my senior, and actually in the police academy, I was just a little rookie and he was the sergeant in charge. Okay, so but I've never worked directly for him until about a year and a half ago when he was in charge of my project for 4 months. But he is 100% right. We thought all of the cars that got stolen in the United States, well, that was the only problem, a one-way going across the border. Cars being stolen in Mexico at gunpoint, brought up here, and easily re-registered through the DMV. If it sounds like it's a slam against the DMV, it's not. Yes, it is. The problem is their registration. All they want to do is keep the paper flowing. This is honest truth. Keep the paper flowing. Subsequently, someone comes in with I kid you not, a bill of sale written on a cocktail napkin. That was the weirdest one we heard. Oh yeah, I brought it. Okay, you swear? I swear. And they'll get issued a new title. Think about it. The car was never reported stolen in the United States. All of a sudden, the car shows up, and if there were a Carfax on it, it would have no history. What you need to do, back in the day, I used to tell everyone, if you're about to buy a car, call the police department and give them the VIN number, and they'll run it for you. Doesn't do you any good now, because if that VIN has been cloned, you own a 2000 Escalade, they stole a 2000 Escalade, they looked at yours in your windshield and got your VIN number, they made a fake plate, put it on this one, now they're advertising it in Auto Trader and whatever. You run a Carfax, it's going to come back, oh yeah, it's okay. But here's the funny thing. Let's say they got that VIN number, all of a sudden this car shows on the Carfax out of North Carolina with 90,000 miles, but I got it in San Diego with 30,000 miles. Those are the things. So if you're going to buy a car, calling local law enforcement isn't enough. What you need to do is go with a Carfax, and there's actually a government website, and I can't remember the web address now, where you can do the same. I think Carfax, there is a charge, 10, 20, 30 bucks or so, but I think it is worth it. And then when you get the Carfax, don't look at the first two things, read everything. Because if the car were stolen in Mexico, OCRA, Oficina, I can't tell you what it stands for, but the Mexican version of the National Insurance Crime Board is called OCRA. And OCRA would have put something in on Carfax. There's a little alert and it says, OCRA, possible stolen, whatever. People don't look past the report. They pay for it, but they don't read it. So as I say, a phenomena, yes, but Mexico has just as many cars being stolen proportionately that end up across the border here. So, yes, ma'am.
So what do you think the reason is that we have more people, yet we have less?
This drop in crime coincided with my hiring at the end. Couple of things, a lot of things. Number one, I think you've got an aging criminal population. They're getting older. Rats catching a bunch of them and they're doing time. That helps because these are guys involved in rings. But other people are growing up and getting older. Crime is going down all around America. It is, I can't sit here and tell you why. I can say great law enforcement. law enforcement is losing, departments are shrinking because of budget. For whatever reason, this phenomenon